Hello everybody, this is Michael Marlett, and today I'll be showing you how to use my new dry brush add-on. So, first of all, we will install the add-on. So under File, User Preferences, press Install from File. Here, you navigate to the folder where you saved the Python script. In my case, is under Tutorial. And you select the Python script and hit Install from File. Now that this add-on is installed, you must check the box right here to tell Blender to use this add-on. Now that the add-on is installed, we can go ahead and start to use the dry brush. First step to do this is to generate a displacement map. For this, we need to UV unwrap this plane, tab into edit mode, press U to unwrap, and add a new image. This image will become our displacement map. So I'll call it something like displace underscore plane. Press OK and tab back out. And right here, this is just a simple plane sculpted with multi-res modifier. To use the displacement bake, you need to set the preview to 0, and under the render settings, scroll down to your bake options. And make sure you are in Blender Render. If you're in Blender Cycles, you will not have as many options under bake mode. Under bake mode, select displacement and check bake from multi-res. Now these all are set up, just press bake. And here we have our displacement map. Depending on how large your file is, this can take 3 seconds or at least 10 minutes. Now that we're done generating it, we can close this window here and start texture painting. Change to texture paint mode. Add a new paint slot. Diffuse color is fine. I'll change this to plain and select a blue color because these are going to be an ocean with a couple islands on it. And under modifiers, we can set this back to 8 so we can see the bumps. The first step will be adding sand, then we'll add some grass, and at the very peaks we'll add some snow. Select a yellow color for the sand. We'll go under slots. And since we have the dry brush add-on enabled, we have this new panel down here. Here we select the image for dry brushing. In this case, we'll be using the displacement plane. So we select that, press adjust dry brush. Under mask, select cache image. There we see the stencil is only allowing you to paint these islands. And down here, we have options to adjust this stencil. The depth obviously changes how far it's going to paint. The fall off adjusts the transition from painting to non-painting. So a value of 2 is pretty smooth, but you set to something like 10, it's very harsh. For this case, we'll be using 2 for right now. The threshold is rarely ever used. It's only used when you're using low values for the depth and you need to clean it up a little bit. So here you see it's not super clear, so you just turn the threshold up and it cleans it up. But in our case, we'll be using the depth at -20. -20. And the threshold we can leave at 4. And the one last option we have is under the mask in the stencil. You can invert the stencil. This allows you to just to paint the ocean. We'll re-invert it, So we're painting just the islands, and press numpad 7 to go to top view. And here we can begin painting the islands with our sand. We need to adjust the strength of the brush with Shift F. Put down to 100%. And begin painting. If we uncheck mask, we can now see we have some islands with sand. The next step is adding the grass. We can recheck mask and change our color to a green grass color. And adjust the depth by hitting adjust dry brush, changing the depth to like -30, 7 to go to top view, and we add the grass. Then we'll do one last level to get to just the very peaks to get add snow. Change it to something like -60. And since it's snow, we'll change the fall off to 10. So it's a very harsh line. And change our color to white. Uncheck mask so we can see everything. And there you have these islands that first have sand transition to grass. Then a few islands, the tall ones, have snow on top. Now this is a very simple example. I will now move on to a more complex example of using the dry brush. Go to the layer 2, and I have this dinosaur mesh, which has been sculpted with multi-res. And just like the other one, we must make a displacement map from this dinosaur mesh. Open another screen, UV image editor, tab in edit mode, U unwrap, create a new image. This one we call displace dino, and we increase the resolution so that we have more detail when we are doing the dry brush. Tab back out of edit mode, set the preview to 0, under render, and press bake. Now we have a displacement map. We can shut this window, go into texture paint mode. Here we need to add another paint slot, diffuse color. This one we'll call dino diffuse, and again we will increase the paint resolution, and I will pick a green color, so I'll have a green dinosaur. And now under slots we'll select displacement dino, and we can leave this as cache image because it will automatically adjust to be using this, using displacement dino. Change the depth to -20, 20. Check the mask, and here we have, you can see we could just paint the scales. We'll invert it so that we're painting the crevices. We turn the modifier back on to see the bumps. We're going to adjust this so that it's just getting the crevices. And we will actually turn the modifier back off so that our painting is not slowed down by all these vertices. Let's now select a dark green color to paint the crevices. And now we'll invert the stencil and we'll add some yellow to the top of these scales. Let's select a color to be a yellow. And adjust the depth so we're not hitting all of the scales, just the tops. Change the fall off to something like 5. And we can start painting. We're going to uncheck mask to see what our mesh is looking like. Go back to object mode, turn the preview back up to 4. Let's go back to texture paint mode so we can see our mesh. And here we see got some pretty cool scales that have the crevices dark green and the peaks, some of the peaks yellow. So that's all for today. Hopefully you found this tutorial useful, and hopefully you find some good uses for this new dry brush add-on. Thanks for watching. Bye.